Parts of Johannesburg will be without water from tomorrow as Randwater carries out 58 hours of maintenance work, and residents are urged to stock up on water ahead of the shutdown, as Nqobile Madlala reports.
Randwater has planned 58 hours maintenance of their infrastructure, and as a result, more and more places in Johannesburg will see themselves probably experiencing some water shortages. So we are now joined in by the MMC of Environment, Infrastructure and Services Department. MMC, we know that a lot of places in Johannesburg will be affected. Perhaps just give us an idea which areas will be roughly affected and why those areas specifically.
Morning to residents and in fact viewers of Newzroom. This shutdown will affect largely the northern part and southern part of Johannesburg. Quite a number of our reservoirs, there are so many, but in fact as a result of the maintenance that is done by Randwater at Ekenhof, they are tying in a pipe that was constructed some time ago. So it's a part of maintenance, which we appreciate from Randwater, because if you can't do maintenance, likely is that you might experience quite a number of unplanned outages. Yeah, but I think southern part largely and the northern part of Johannesburg are going to be affected by these outages. Why is it important for them to do such services? It is important because, look, like we don't want to experience what Eskom is experiencing. Infrastructure is something important, and if you can invest in it, you are highly likely to experience uninterrupted one, meaning that the system will automatically by itself collapse, because we are neglecting its maintenance and its well-being. So Randwater is avoiding that. I think that's why they are doing this. Unfortunately so, but it's going to take us give and take 5 days or to 14 to recover. But this one is necessary to avoid these outages. You could, witness a couple of weeks ago we have so many uninterrupted water outages that affected residents of Johannesburg. Unfortunately, negatively affected us, but we couldn't do anything. We could just wait for them to fix their things and pump water into our reservoirs. And I mean, when they're doing a maintenance like this, what does it mean for the reservoirs? Are they empty? Could then we have an issue of, once they come back online, that maybe some places do not get water immediately? There are two approaches to this. There are areas where Joburg water will then stop water from going out a couple of hours before the shutdown, especially towers in other areas, but depend. We are targeting the high-lying areas, because high-lying areas are difficult when Randwater can begin to pump water. It's not easy for water to go up. It demands quite a lot of pressure, but the low-lying areas is fine. We can't do that. But in those areas where the high-lying area, mountainous areas, we might leave it close water. And exactly why we are doing that is because by the time Randwater releases water, after they are done with the maintenance, by the time they begin to pump, at least there are water in those reservoirs. Then the recovery time, then you can be able to speed up that recovery time. Unlike where they pump and the reservoirs are empty, all of them, it will take more than 14 days to recover. But once we do that, it's part of the mechanism that we use to recover quickly. Yeah. And how are you going to help those areas that might see less water maybe coming through? Look, we are now from a meeting with councillors early in the morning, but it was an online one before you called me to the snow. But look, we are preparing for those days, so we are informing councillors, prepare them with information. Our own internal social media team is hard at work updating councillors on daily basis in terms of which area, region by region and ward by ward. So we are pleading to residents that please contact your ward councillors. That will indicate to us or their depot managers where in fact you are in high need of this particular water. But again, we must indicate we are having more than 60 of the Joburg 10 that are stationary, that we are targeting, maybe perhaps police stations, clinics, schools and so on. But we have over 100 also of them of the rooming water tanks. That is where residents will need them to work with councillors and identify those areas for us. So that, but there are areas for us that we've already identified. But look, society ward by ward have their own different needs. So we rely much on councillors with regard to that. Thanks so much. And just lastly, I mean, there might be a great concern, especially when you go to places like the clinic or the hospital, you mostly need water in those areas. Is there maybe out of the places that you're targeting, specifically looking in certain hospitals? Look, we are looking at over those 60 Jojo tanks. We should be able to cover largely those hospitals. Last time when we had water outage, funny enough, somewhere in Nqobile, someone joking, I don't know whether they were serious or not, saying that police can arrest because toilets are, there's no water in police stations, which can't be correct. Look, kids can't go to school because there's no water. It's very important that when schools open for us, there must be that mechanism so that schools, all of them, can be able to be open on the same day and running, optimal, all of them, including healthcare facilities also, yes.